Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a bunch of results over the past 2 weeks. I haven't covered any of the tournament results, so here we go. We have a lot of Vanguard Deluxe, a lot of BCSs. I think one of the biggest BCSs to ever happen, Duluth. So that's the one in Georgia, and then we also have California coming up as well. We still don't have BCS Singapore and the results from that, so hopefully Fuzzy will get the information for that, but pretty much working with what we have at the moment. If you guys need any coaching, my Metafy is in the bottom right hand corner and in the description. Feel free to book a session and we can get started. If you guys haven't already, click that subscribe button for all notifications on new videos on this channel. So this infographic, this pie chart speaks volumes, right? 6 Shiranui, 1 Mygo, 1 Morphonica for the deluxe finals in Indonesia, and yeah, there's really nothing more to say, right? Shiranui is one of the strongest Stride Decksets to ever be released, and I guess it has a very similar impact to how Jet was initially. I think a lot of people also saw the Vanguard Deluxe finals in Japan, so you know, obviously Shiranui won that one, and you know, everyone jumping on the train and kind of following that. But first place was actually Morphonica, and I think Morphonica is one of these decks where it doesn't really care, right? Similar to Mygo, it really doesn't care about what your opponent does. This Morphonica slayed through 2 Shiranuis to win the finals. And I think Morphonica, once it releases in English, it might actually see quite a bit of impact, given that we get it. I think Morphonica does also come one set before or after Mygo. So, you know, if Morphonica is the one dealing damage, then Mygo will as well. So first place was Morphonica, and then second, third, and fourth, all 3 of them were Shiranui. So congratulations to all the players here. Hope to see some of these players at Worlds. Very, very cool to see that, you know, as much as the distribution says that Shiranui is a great deck, it just shows that there are other decks that can beat it as well, and Shiranui is not invincible. So yeah, that is the results from Indonesia finals. Now jumping to BCS Cardiff. So this one, starting with standard, we have 2 Bastion, 1 of everything else. So Greedon Jet, Willista, Overlord, Megalon Azuchi, and Orphis Mask. I think this is a pretty good spread to kind of indicate what standard is all about. And in first place was taken by Greedon Mask. It's still a very strong deck in the meta game at the moment. So I actually anticipate a lot of Greedon Mask come California this weekend. So I think Greedon Mask is a very good pick into, you know, a field where Bastion Accord is actually pretty good too. So, you know, these 2 big decks, you know, the ones coming first and second here in this chart, those are really formidable decks to take for California, and I think these players, you know, just showed that as well. Third place was Jet, and then fourth was Willista. Willista is still good, even though with the restriction you just play one or the other, and the deck still functions as it was before. Then jumping to V. This one is pretty widespread as well. So we had 2 Aquaforce, 2 Grand Blue, 1 Bermuda Triangle, Jewel Knights, Great Nature, and Genesis. And coming first place was Anj, Jasmine Koa. Yeah, like Anj is one of these, I have to say, it's probably one of the strongest decks in V, especially with the new PR, the Ride Fixer. I think it does lots for Anj, because what Anj can do now is that it just ditches the Ride Fixer or the VPR, and then pretty much you're searching for Lisa lots. And if you're having a very good early game, a very stabilizing, aggressive early game in V Premium, that is a very good sign, right? So you're pretty much grabbing your Lisa lots, you're calling them Aqua, Bounce, Draw 1, and all your numbers are like ridiculous. It's like 23, 23, 23. Really annoying to guard, especially if you're going first and your opponent literally can't do anything about that. Second place is Jewel Knights, third was Leopold, and fourth was Night Rose. Very cool to see all 4 different decks in the top 4. Then going to Premium, this is where it gets a little bit crazy. So 2 Genesis, each of them are 2 different variants. So one is Fenrir and one is Minerva, and then 1 Grand Blue, Nubatama, Gear Chronicle, Narukami, and Bermuda. Did I miss one? 1, 2, yeah. I didn't miss one. Cool. So yeah, lots of different varieties, different decks. Very cool to see. No loops here. And yeah, first place was Fenrir, a very interesting deck, I gotta say. I definitely didn't expect Fenrir to be first place. I would have expected like Minerva to be first place, actually. And then second place was Gridora, and I think this particular player also topped earlier in the season, coming third with Gridora. So, you know, consistent results is always good. Third was Minerva, and fourth was Riviere. Riviere is actually a very good deck into a meta where it's like completely Narukami, but if it's versing anything that is like super aggressive, it might just fall apart, because Riviere naturally doesn't actually get a lot of hand. So yeah, very cool. Congratulations to all the players here. Then jumping to the other side of the world, so we have BCS Duluth. Standard comes with 2 Orphis and 2 Bastion, 1 Greedon, 1 Gandiva, 1 Zorga, 1 Hexa Orb Gandiva. You know, still getting a top after the restriction. Then first to fourth, first was taken by Orphis Mass, second was Bastion of Cord, third was Orphis Mass, fourth was a Hexa Orb. We haven't seen a Hexa Orb top in a very long time, so very cool to see that. But Orphis Mass, again, another deck that is, you know, very, how should I say, it's been dealing some damage. Let's just put it that way, right? A very formidable deck in standard at the moment. Then jumping to V, this is where we actually see a bit more consolidation of some of these clans. So 3 Aqua Force, all 3 with Thavis, 2 Night Roses, 1 Ange, 1 LUARD, and 1 Steam Maiden. Then first place taken by Thavis, second is Bryant playing Night Rose, third was an Ange, and fourth is LUARD. So again, still the top 4, all 4 diverse decks. And not to say that, you know, any of these are, you know, stronger than the other, and, you know, very cool to see diverse results. And then jumping to premium. So this is where we see quite a bit of crazy stuff. So I see an EDD armor break segment in this pie chart. And then we see, you know, pure Vanquisher, which is, yeah, right. We saw that in Melbourne. And then we also see, you know, your normal sweep Irads with Vanquisher, 2 Bermudas where one of them is a Highlander and one is a loop deck, and then we see 2 Royal Paladin. What the heck is going on here? So Jewel Knight is okay. Like we've seen Jewel Knight's top before, but Alt Mile, what is going on? And then 1 Dark Regulars. Dark Regulars has actually fallen off the radar so far. But that's probably because like Narukami is like one of the best decks in the format at the moment, and yeah, NLK just can't deal with that. So yeah, very cool to see, you know, different variety, different takes on, you know, what seems to be the best clans in the format at the moment. And then first place was taken by Highlander, second was the NLK. That's pretty surprising. Third was a Vanquisher, and the fourth was Eveloop. So isn't everyone happy that Mid-Tor is now banned? I'm pretty happy, given that, you know, the restriction is in effect for Worlds. We'll see, you know, no degenerate decks in at the World Finals, but we'll actually see the format kind of stay the same. So all of these results that we've seen over the past, you know, 4 or 5 months is actually pretty legitimate, obviously other than the Melistas and the Eve loops. But if you see, you know, the second, the third, the fourths, the ones that, you know, aren't the loops, that kind of just dictates what the meta is like. And, you know, if you guys haven't already, click that subscribe button, because I will be releasing a video for what are the best premium decks in the format at the moment, and just kind of going through what, like, you know, the format will be like, and obviously with indication of Mid-Tor being banned, this is kind of what we expect to see. So yeah, very cool. Congratulations to all the players here. Then going to the Bushido China League in Wuhan. So first, well, top 8. Again, predominantly Shiranui with 5, and then 1 Bastion, 1 Training Tools, and 1 Mygo. And then first place was taken by Shiranui, second was Mygo, third was Training Tools, and fourth taken by Shiranui. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, Token Rambu is coming out in English, and I think this is one of the decks that I think a lot of people should, I guess, look out for. I think this Munechika, Mikazuki, and Kashu. Those 3 decks are actually pretty good. These meta-defining decks in collab sets actually might, you know, deal some damage in obviously the global side as well. I guess the only problem is that maybe it comes at a period where Youthberg and stuff are like, you know, predominant. But then again, you know, this is going against Mygos, going against Shiranui, so we probably won't have access to that. Maybe we do have access to the Stride Deckset, but we don't have access to Mygo. So, you know, these collab techs are actually very strong enough to kind of take on, you know, the likes of Youthberg and stuff like that. So I will probably be covering some Token Rambu content later on, just kind of dictating the best builds for Token Rambu as well. So yeah, congratulations to the players here. Then looking at the WGP Deluxe Finals in Singapore, again, predominantly Shiranui, 2 Mygos, 2 LUARDs, and 1 Youthberg. Then looking at first to fourth, first was taken by Mygo, second was Shiranui, third is Youthberg, and fourth Mygo. Mygo, you know, we've seen it time and time again. This deck is pretty nuts, and it doesn't really care what your opponent does. Very similar to Mushi King. So if you guys have picked up Mushi King in English, that deck also doesn't care about what your opponent does. You just smack them and yeah, hope for the best. So yeah, pretty cool there. And then we also jump to WGP Deluxe in Malaysia. So this is where it's a little bit interesting. Predominantly LUARD. Maybe people in Malaysia really love playing LUARD, right? My good friend Ryan Kai is also a LUARD enthusiast, so maybe he's like influenced like all these other people in his community to play LUARD. So very cool to see. 1 Mushi King, 1 Prism, 1 Leonon, and 1 Shiranui. So the fact that Mushi King has actually seen, I guess, an impact here just kind of shows how strong it actually is. So if we're looking forward to the World Finals, we actually should be anticipating Mushi King as one of the better decks to kind of go up against the likes of Vivace, so Leonon, Jojo Ignis, as well as Youthberg as well. So yeah, that's that. And then the top 4, Eugene coming first place. I think he came 4th at BCS Jakarta for V, I think it was. So very cool to see that he's, you know, gotten first place, a sponsored invite to the Deluxe Finals in Japan. So congratulations, buddy. Second was Labrador, third was LUARD, and fourth is Mushi King. So this is actually Chuhung, one of my good friends from Malaysia. My Mushi King guide is actually, I guess, influenced by the list that he's been playing all season. He's been playing this deck for like ages. And the fact that he's playing against like LUARDs and Stride Decksets with Mushi King, he does not care, and he tops quite a lot. So yeah, you know, grab some influence from one of the good brothers in Malaysia and, you know, play Mushi King. Mushi King, if you guys haven't already, is like one of my, you know, pet peeve decks. Well, not really pet peeve, but more like, you know, my comfort decks at the moment. I think I really enjoy Mushi King because it's like, you know, it's very different to what you know, other decks are. So yeah, those are the results we have for the last 2 weeks. I will be covering BCS California to Anaheim, as well as any of the other events happening this weekend. I probably will maybe give it a week. Oh, I guess next week would be Christmas, right? So there probably won't be any events, so I'll probably cover that in a separate video. So yeah, if you guys like this video, pop a like, comment down below what you guys think of all the results that happened over the past 2 weekends. This is probably indicative of like the World Finals, what the format is going to be like, and just kind of showing what, I guess, Standard is like now, and just kind of how it will transition. Obviously, we won't have certain sets, certain decks in the English side, due to, you know, not being able to play Quints, play Mygo, but we can see the decks that have been ported over, like what the impact is in the format at the moment. If you guys haven't already, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.